You are listening to the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe and guest Dave Chanley.
Welcome to the IndyCar Report with Elijah Poe. I'm Elijah Poe speaking here with Greg and Dave Chanley here. And as Greg said in his intro, we have got a new race. If you didn't pick up on the IndyCar is headed to Canada for the new race in Markham.
Kind of new race. It just kind of replaces Toronto for a few years, but it could end up being permanent, and definitely a new track and some interesting news on that, Elijah.
Yeah, it's been released that the tire barriers aren't up, some of the fencing in areas aren't up. It's a little concerning considering these cars should be on track tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for first practice. It's definitely going to be right up to the deadline, but then again, a new track on a city street course, nonetheless, I think it's kind of to be expected the first time. But you really don't want to blunder like that out of IndyCar.
No, at IndyCar, safety is number one concern, always.
Yeah, and it has to be.
Especially when you're getting into talks that the tire barriers aren't up, the fences aren't up. These are things you do not want rushed at all. So the fact that they're going to have to kind of squeeze it in, obviously they're going to have a good amount of time tomorrow. I don't think Indy Next is running, so that should really free up the track space in general, but it is a little concerning. Nonetheless, though, I think the track on paper, just looking at the layout, so many passes and opportunities for overtake. I really do think this could be a great street course, and if it races well, I'd be fine with it replacing Toronto, because on paper it just looks awesome.
I saw the layout, and it looks interesting. My first thought is really exactly like you guys. I hope there are some passing places or places to pass, because that's the key to a new track. If you've got some overtaking being done in the middle of the pack, it's good racing.
I gotta say, guys, on average, this is crazy to say because the street courses are usually, as Dave said, looking for a place where you can pass, and it's almost impossible at times. By the time you get up to full speed, there's another turn, and it just becomes really difficult. But on average this year, I got to say that the street courses have been some of the best races. We rarely see good racing in Detroit side by side. The first stint during the race didn't produce that, and then all of a sudden, Detroit was just an amazing race this year. Same with, you go back to Long Beach. A lot of times Long Beach turns into a beautiful looking parade. This year it didn't. It was some really good racing on the streets. St. Pete always is. But it was this year as well. And I got to say that I think the street racing has become one of the highlights of this series, Dave.
Well, I also look forward to, it's a new track. It's a new place, a new venue. I'm always interested to see how that plays out. I'm really looking forward to Washington, D.C. to see how that plays out.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. I think this track is so interesting. I think the reason why IndyCar has had these success on the street circuits, I look at a race like Arlington that was not only bumpy, but it utilized very, very long straights. And when I look at this track layout, coming off of turn 5, that little hairpin, that is a really, really, really long straight that these drivers are going to have opportunities to pass. And I think with the hybrid and push to pass, I think it's going to be a really cool opportunity for IndyCar. And the fact that we're going back-to-back weeks, brand new races, I'm not sure there's ever been a period in IndyCar when they've had that, maybe except for the very first year they started running.
I think that also does something else. I think that puts everybody on an equal playing ground. It kind of brings some of the have-nots, so to speak, into play. Because it's new to them, but it's also new to the big boys.
Yeah, we'll talk about the new Alcam from Fox coming up here in a second too, Elijah. But a couple of the reasons that I think that the street course racing has been so good is, number one, the chassis have allowed it. The old chassis, if you hit somebody at all, they're going spinning, and that just kind of disallowed some of that. But the other thing is the different strategies, the different tires, the different the push to pass, as you mentioned, all of it has kind of made street racing very watchable now.
I would be one to vote for a little more push to pass time. I'm sure a lot of people would not, but I think give some guys some more push to pass, and at times that really may, because a lot of them use it up early and they need it late.
Well, Dave, you're going to be happy when 2028 comes around, because I think they are adding a significant amount of push to pass.
You know, it would be fun. Now this is not going to happen, but like a horse race, handicap it. If you're starting 24th,
Ooh.
You get a lot more push to pass than the guy that's starting second.
I think the drivers would hate it, but honestly, if you want to create even better racing than it already is, I love that idea, Dave.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Won't happen, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
I always like the idea of reverse qualifying, starting the fastest car last and getting more points for the more cars that you pass. Not every race, but like one race a year. The guy who starts last can get extra points by passing more cars and starting the fastest last and the slowest first.
Yeah, we'd see Alex Poe win in a different way.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
We're going to have to talk about Alex Poe. We kind of skipped over it a little bit last week, but 4 championships in a row is pretty much clinched. And I just, especially with how competitive everything is these days, just never thought we'd see anything like this.
It really is mind-boggling how good that team is. And again, I know he's good, and that's part of it, but his team is good. How much I would love to be able to separate and say the percentage of how much is him and how much is his team, but they're both just so darn good, especially they unload. When they unload, they're on top of their game. From the minute they're on the track through qualifications, they are on top of their game. They just have it going.
Yeah, and I honestly think if you think of a Mount Rushmore of IndyCar drivers, I would be shocked if I heard anybody left off Alex Poe. I just don't think there are 4 better drivers than Alex Poe. I'm not, and IndyCar history is very lengthy, and sure, you know, the cars that these guys, I'll say the legends were driving back in the day, are non-comparable. And the series is totally different, but man, you want to talk about an absolute winner, and it's Alex Poe.
And that's what makes it even extra special, is the fact that he's doing it in a time where there isn't a dominant car. Dave and I grew up in a year where when you went to Indy, we knew the 3 or 4 cars, one of those was going to win. And then it got a little more and a little more through the years. But now we're in an era where any car can win on any week, and he's still dominating.
He still dominates. It has basically almost every week it has been a race for second place. And wow. And that, if you take him off the course, think how good the racing would be, because we have had some interesting races for second, third, fourth.
That's right.
All year.
That's right.
And I think it's going to be interesting, especially with the new course. I think anybody in a Honda is going to be favored, especially on a street course. It kind of was sneakily hidden last week. I think I just forgot to bring it up, but the Hondas really dominated all weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised if they dominate here on another street circuit where, you know, it's been proven time and time again, these Hondas, they can just get that acceleration power to those back wheels quicker than the Chevys can. And I think that puts out, obviously, Team Penske and obviously Arrow McLaren.
And part of that is that Penske just has not figured out the street courses for 2 years now. And they're very, very competitive on the ovals and the road courses, but Penske's just have not figured out the street courses. Arrow McLaren has a little bit, especially with Lundgaard, but Penske just has not figured out the street courses yet. Guys, let's talk about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks here in just a minute.
Well, let's talk about the next couple very important weeks as the IndyCar season winds down. Before we get into some talk about the 2027 schedule, which Fox has kindly released only phase 1 of the schedule, but nonetheless, it is still dates on a calendar. But this week, we're going to be in Ontario before we head to Washington, D.C., which might be the most anticipated IndyCar race other than the 500 that I can remember in a very long time. Before we close out the month of August with a doubleheader at Milwaukee. Obviously, we know that Alex Poe is pretty much wrapped up this championship, but there's still a lot to fight for with the back of the pack.
Interesting. I saw a little thing with Pato on it, and he was saying, I can still put together second place. It could fall. And that was very optimistic considering how negative he has been all year toward his team because it just hasn't gelled. But that little snippet that I saw, he was pretty positive. And maybe they've got something that we don't know about. Maybe they're going to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
Honestly, when you look at Pato Award season, we've talked about how bad he's been. I think it's shocking that he only has seven top fives, no poles, 1 win. It's just been such a down year. And for him to only be 45 points out of second place, he could make that up in a race weekend potentially. So I think the race between second and fifth is going to be super, super interesting. And it'll be interesting to see if Arrow McLaren can actually deliver a car where he's able to maybe pick up a couple more wins. Because if we're honest, Alex Poe won 8 races last year. He's got 6 so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he reaches that number again.
Wouldn't surprise me either. I definitely would say going into the this particular race, he would have to be favored. But again, everybody's on equal footing again. Has anybody practiced here? Has anybody? I don't think anybody's done.
No, other than the Sims, no.
That should make it interesting in itself.
I think it favors the racers who have the most racecraft. You look at Alex Palou, you look at Kyle Kirkwood, and you look at Pato O'Ward. I think those 3 are up the top in just the driving ability and skill. And I think, man, what a fun Sunday it would be if those 3 are at the top.
That would be awesome, especially if they were in a situation battling it out.
Yeah, I think on the street courses, you need to throw in Lundgaard and Dixon, but you're absolutely right. I think it's those 5 when you're talking about the street course drivers. Dixon, don't be surprised if Dixon has a kind of a renaissance this weekend, I think.
He needs it. He really does. I want him to keep his win streak alive, and it's just the way the season works. The longer you go without a win, the fewer chances you have.
Exactly.
And apparently, Elijah, we're going to be watching the races coming up when what Fox is claiming to be a revolutionary new camera called the Owl Cam. It's going to be able to track the cars through the corners like we've never seen before.
I'm really excited. I think not only has Fox literally had an investment into the series, but they're unveiling brand new technology that no sport has seen. For that to be said in IndyCar and not Formula One or NASCAR or any other racing series, I think is so pivotal. And the fact that Fox continues to try new things is so, so important.
Agree 100%. Fox is on board every 2 or 3 races. I just look and say they are totally on board. They're making every effort to really make this Indy racing explode. I saw where they're up 16% viewership from last year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but truthfully, that's a lot, and that's great.
It is. It just should be more. The product is that good. It should be more.
It is.
And I think it will get there. I think if you have continued buy-in like this from not only the fans, but the series, Roger Penske, Fox, I think it can get there in years to come. And I know it's going to get there with a schedule release we had at phase 1 for the 2027 season. I can run through that real quick. It's kicking off in St. Petersburg, March 7th, before we head to Phoenix Raceway, March 13th. The very next weekend, keeping the momentum going, heading back to the streets of Arlington before taking a little week break before we head to Barber Motorsports April 4th, the streets of Long Beach April 18th, Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course May 14th, the 500 May 30th, and the streets of Detroit in June 6th. And I know that's a very good schedule, but personally, I am happiest that IndyCar is going to be on the oval May 4th and 5th for the open testing before we hit the road course.
Yes, and if anybody hasn't gone, that's free. Anybody that wants to go, take your lawn chair, set it over in turn 2, and watch. It is, I could sit all day and just watch the cars testing.
And that's why you're on the IndyCar Report, Dave.
I'll tell you what else. With that particular, I'm awfully glad they're at Phoenix again, but I'm really glad that Arlington has taken hold. I just thought that was a great race, and everybody went all out to try to make it work, and I think they did.
Got to be in Texas.
Absolutely.
The only thing I would say is that they need an international race in that little gap there between Long Beach and Indy. I know they like Long Beach as the lead into May, but having it on April 18th, it's a long time before the next race. And can we get a Mexico? Can we get a Brazil? Can we get something down there? We're already at Long Beach. Let's just take a little trek down to Mexico.
Monterrey, Mexico. I'm all
That's
in.
right.
And I honestly think that's the reason why they did this phase 1 schedule release, because those international deals definitely take a lot more time than they do
That's
the tracks you've already been to. And I think it is going to work out. And I wouldn't be surprised if they squeeze one in between Long Beach and the road course, like you said, Greg. But I'm also not that mad about it just because we are seeing cars on the oval just a couple weeks after Long Beach. I think that, I mean, everybody just wants to see a car on the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Right.
At least I do.
That's right. Having the Indy 500 as an anchor to your series definitely helps.
Yeah. The biggest race in the world, literally.
All right, let's take one more quick break and make our picks for Markham.
And of course, we have to get into everybody's favorite, or at least everybody's favorite to be prideful on, which I am as well, is picks of the week. It's going to be an interesting toss-up to see what everybody picks, just because it is a brand new stinking... Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the rules. We cannot pick Alex Palou because we all three would pick Alex Palou.
That's right.
I like that. I'll go with that, Dave. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I guess then, Dave, getting into that, what are some what are maybe a couple or 3 drivers that you expect to be near the top or maybe on your podium?
Kyle Kirkwood. Kirkwood is... he's due for a win.
Well, I'm going to take Christian Lundgaard if I'm going to take one that's not Alex Palou. And just like I jumped in there to say Alex Palou first, because I knew you guys were going to. I also want to take my dark horse as Rinus Veekay, although at this point, I'm not sure he's a dark horse anymore.
Yeah, I have to agree with both of you guys. You look at Kyle Kirkwood's only win of the year being at Arlington, where he was able to make a pass on one of the final corners in the last couple laps of that race to win on a brand new street course. And I honestly think that he's going to be able to do the same again. Just the raw talent he has. And we know Andretti's going to be good on the streets. And I think he's the person to deliver. A dark horse, I have to agree with Rinus Veekay as well, who's been in very good form. And I think, why not Will Power get his first win with Andretti? You know, he's had some pretty decent races, just hasn't really had the results. Sitting in 11th in the championship standings, only has 3 top 5s. I think all 3 of those being podiums. But he's been in the mix for a couple wins here this year, and it'd be awesome to see him get a win in his first year with Andretti.
I agree with that. I think Will's had take away just a few blips on the radar. He's had a pretty good year. He really is come on strong here of late. He's a factor. He's still got it.
I also want to see more from Mick Schumacher this week. Starting to see a little bit of promise. And since Rinus Veekay isn't really a dark horse anymore, although I guess we need to probably talk a little bit more about him. But give me Kyle Collette as someone who's going to have a good weekend.
He needs it. I like that.
I like Kyle Collette. He's going to be he's a racer. We said it before. He's a racer, and you're right about Rinus. My gosh, he's a race car driver as well. He has done exceptionally well with limited resources.
Yeah. The fact,
unbelievable.
I think it's laughable that his teammates with Stingray Rob, and he's outperforming. I mean, he's in 10th place in the championship in a Juncos Hollinger car. It's just incredible.
And talk post Indy, he's probably in 4th or 5th place of the points.
Oh, easily.
He's been in the mix every week after Indy.
He probably had the easiest 4th place drive I've ever seen last week in Portland.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Well said. Well said.
Elijah kept tooting his horn last year, and I'm like, yeah, I could take him or leave him. But this year has just blown me away.
Yeah, I if we're buying stock, I would buy stock at Rinus Veekay.
And it's interesting because, he's kind of been with these smaller teams his whole career. And, people are saying he could be in contention for maybe that seat at Ganassi, maybe somewhere else. But if I'm Rinus Veekay, you've been kind of doing this the last couple of years, stacking good results with some smaller teams. Why not just stay and see what you can do?
He's definitely valuable to those teams, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
For sure. I just wanted to shout out to Elijah on your new job. Congratulations and welcome back to the Hoosier State.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to being able to get back to the best time zone in Eastern and also be back in the Hoosier State as well. And then I'm really, really excited to be able to head over just about 10-minute drive from where I'm going to be staying to the Kokomo Speedway.
Awesome.
Yeah, Elijah, I told you about 3 months ago that one day you'll be back in Indiana because everybody who leaves Indiana eventually comes back because it's the best place on earth. And you realized that super fast.
I'm thankful for the opportunity that kind of arose. It was very kind of spontaneous, but I'm glad it was able to be open for me, and looking forward to get back and definitely be closer to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as well.
You're not that far from making a trek down to Bloomington to a football game.
Yeah, although I'm closer to my favorite team ever, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Oh.
I think what Elijah's going to be looking forward to most is a lot of great high school sports in Howard County right now. It is a great time to be in Howard County for high school sports. So,
yeah,
and the surrounding counties. You are. It's Central Indiana. The surrounding counties. You are surrounded by good sports.
That's right. The NCC, man. That is the pinnacle of high school basketball in Indiana, right there.
Gave me chills just saying it.
Thanks so much to Elijah, as always. Thanks so much to Dave for joining us. Thank you so much for listening. Please do us a huge favor. Share this podcast with an IndyCar fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about whatever Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Please join us again on Sunday following the race when we react to a brand new race. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.